Be strong, my friends. These internet users have encountered terrible things in real life, and perhaps you will want to see the photos they took. Imagine you are on board a huge Boeing, ready to take off. This is your first time flying on an airplane. You were scared, but everyone told you that it was safe. You have convinced yourself that everything will be fine, and then the pilot reports disturbing news on the speakerphone. Good morning, friends. Our flight has been cancelled for security reasons. It looks like a swarm of bees is hanging on one of our wings, and we'll have to remove it before takeoff. I must say, this is the first time. Well, how do you like this first experience? Let's say you always go to work the long way. This is one of your favorite stretches of the day because you can enjoy a quiet walk surrounded by beautiful scenery. You pass by an overgrown pond, as usual, and suddenly something strange attracts your attention. What could it be? You ask yourself. It turns out that this is a colony of reddish worms that live here. I think my stomach has turned over. Have you ever traveled with a backpack and in economy mode? If so, then you probably worried about one thing: bedbugs. When checking into another hostel, it is worth checking the mattress. The worst thing is to sleep in a bed filled with these little creatures, and the next morning wash all your clothes so as not to take them away with you. In my opinion, it looks like a bug and a bug from a science fiction movie got into a fight in bed, and that's what's left of them. Joking aside, it reminds me of the remains of some kind of beetle. What bug? I have no idea. I would advise hostel owners to use protective mattress pads, so that travelers around the world stop suffering because of these tiny creatures. You just won an all-inclusive trip to Hawaii. White sandy beaches and stunning sunsets. You are happy to leave your posh hotel for a long walk on the beach. Well, wait, what is it? It seems as if the lobster has thrown off its tail and its remains have washed up on the sand. But, according to experts, this is not a lobster. They don't drop their tails. It looks like it's some kind of isopod. And the isopods are crustaceans, which in appearance are somewhere between shrimps and lobsters. That's why you thought it was a lobster, right? They also look like giant woodlouse. Do you know who they are? If you had an invasion of woodlice at home or in the garden, you know that it is very unpleasant. Imagine spending your days hunting these tiny creatures all over your furniture. No, thanks. In my youth, I loved to prank people, but I would be horrified if someone played me like that. I suppose that a person who encountered this thing on the wall of his office was not very pleasant. But maybe it's karma and he did something to deserve such a good joke. Imagine that it's a sunny Sunday morning and you went camping with your best friends. You have climbed a steep hill covered with knee-high vegetation. You know what that means, right? Insects. The great thing about insects is that they never cease to amaze. There are an infinite number of varieties of extremely rare and bizarre beetles. To begin with, you got acquainted with this instance. He fell off your dog's back. It looks like the fruit of the union of a jackfruit seed with a spider. I hope this strange insect poses no threat. Along the way, your sock also picked up a few fellow travelers. Look at how many ticks the sock has protected you from. The next time you go on a hike like this, take some insect repellent with you. It must be strong and effective. For example, an ultrasonic repeller will do, which disorients ticks, so that they will never find their way to your juicy socks. Speaking of insects, take a quick test to find out if you love nature. Imagine it's early morning and you've just woken up in a cabin in the woods. You go outside, and the first thing you see on the porch is a snake crawling about its business. Would you take a selfie with her? Or slam the door and hide back under the blanket? Or maybe you just woke up, opened the door to the outside world and became the only witness to the molting of the beetle. What would you do? Did you shed tears of happiness or were you disgusted? Come on, look at him. He looks like a baby Pokemon. So cute. Ah, summer. My favorite time of the year. You can enjoy the pool until late in the evening. And meet friends and family on a Sunday picnic. Well, there is one thing that really annoys me. Bees. Eating outdoors usually means that you will have to share juice or delicious food with a bunch of bees. If only some genius had invented something that would keep bees away from our food. For example, ultrasound, which we could turn on in our speakers. Or some kind of bait nest, which would be more interesting than picnic food. Oh, or maybe this. I think this will do. Simple, but effective. I'll try and tell you if this thing works. The most pleasant thing after a hard day's work is to return home. But not when you are met by this monster. How did this spider get here at all if you live in a city apartment many kilometers away from real greenery? This is a mystery that we will never solve. You go for a walk with your 5-year-old daughter. She's in the digging period now, so as soon as she comes to the park, she starts digging around like a Jack Russell Terrier. You're watching her having fun, and suddenly you notice a shiny blue thing crawling out of the pit. What is it? You think. You grab it with a stick and make sure it's a centipede. You know, the kind that burns with their poisonous paws. It is best to put it back in the hole and move to another park. If you could settle into any movie or TV series, which one would you choose? Probably something cozy or romantic, right? I think that no one or almost no one here would choose the life of a character of the show One of Us, right? But it seems to me that this man felt like a jewel. The thing crawling out of the forest moss is a mushroom. It imitates a human hand. That's right, life and art imitate each other. Remember we talked about travelers with backpacks? This person had the same problem as them. He washed and dried a bunch of clothes. And this is what the dryer filter looked like after that. There were 100 little friends in it. By the way, did you know that bed bugs do not live in the bed, but on the floor? They crawl into bed at night because they feel the release of carbon dioxide from our breath. It looks like a ready-made plot for a horror movie. Where should I start? I would say that this item was a prop for a Tim Burton movie, but somehow got lost and ended up in your vegetable basket. It is supposed to be a sweet potato, but in shape it resembles the Grinch's hand. If it were white instead of green. Oh, my God. It wouldn't have occurred to me in the craziest dream. Thank you for watching and see you in the next videos.